Hi, I'm Alistair. I'm one of the cardiologists in Norwich. We're here in the cath labs with my team, and we're making a film about patients who've had heart attacks to try and help you understand the procedure that you've had and the recovery process. We're going to follow a patient called George who had a heart attack about a year ago and follow him on his recovery.
Hello, PCI coordinator. Right, what was the patient's name? What's his date of birth? And what's the history for this gentleman? So family history, yes. He's a smoker. Is he diabetic? And have you faxed an ECG? Okay, has he had aspirin and clopidogrel?
So we're expecting a primary case that's an inferior ST elevation infarct, 77-year-old diabetic. Which we're going to see if we can get more detail.
Any allergies to anything? No. And whereabouts are you at the moment? Lowestoft, so about 30 minutes away. If you call us 5 minutes before you get here, and someone will come and meet you. All right? Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Hello, I'm Mr. Beaton. I'm Dr. Riding, one of the consultants. You know why you're here, don't you? You're having a heart attack and getting sorted out. And then we follow up and see how you do and see if people with that treatment do better after a heart attack or not. So is that all okay from your point of view?
Yeah, that's
fine. Okay, and we'll tell you more about that when it's all sorted, okay? So that was 8:30, was it?
About 8:30.
Okay.
He laid on the bed for a little while. In the end, he said to his wife, I can't
So medication-wise, he's had...
He's had
Aspirin, GTN, clopidogrel, oxygen, morphine and naloxone.
Okay, we can sort that out. And you're diabetic, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you take metformin and stuff?
Yeah, just 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. Round about.
I think we're going in 3.
In 3?
We need to recite his canyon or at least check whether it's working. Can I just borrow that for his date of birth, please? Give some GTN. Okay, just going to take this balloon out. How's the pain? Has it settled at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're getting the blood flowing back a bit more normally now, but a bit more work to do. Okay. Do you feel a bit dizzy at all there? Are you feeling a bit dizzy, George?
Not really.
No, fine. Okay. It's just your blood pressure's dropped a bit, but we're sorting it out. Well, your blood pressure's certainly not high today, but I think we can blame the heart attack for that. Okay, shall we just prepare the stents? Sophie and I have just done this 77-year-old chap with an inferior infarct. He will be offered rehab, which will start basically as soon as he gets back to the ward with the heart manual, and then a sort of phased return to normal activities over the next month.
And we aim to discharge most of these patients within 48 hours.
Yeah, so average length of stay I think is just over 2 days, yeah. Hi.
Thank you very much.
It's all right.
Okay. You did a brilliant job.
Thank you, that's very kind of you. You're feeling better now?
I'm definitely feeling better. 30 seconds after you put that balloon in,
Yeah.
I felt as if my world had started again.
Excellent.
Yes, to me that was absolutely amazing.
Okay, so it's a year on and we're going to go and find out how George is getting on, having had his heart attack. I'm Alistair Riding and we've made a journey from Norwich to Hunstanton to visit George, who had a heart attack last year, and he starred in one of our films at the time, and we've come to catch up with him and see how he's getting on and find out how his life has changed since that heart attack. So nice to see you, George.
Nice to see you. Very pleased to see you.
Basically, it's about a year since you had your heart attack.
November the 2nd.
Okay, so maybe you can just cast your mind back a year to the day that it all happened.
I was out one morning, wind was blowing, cold, wrapped up, pain in the chest, and I thought, oh, the wind's a bit strong, it must be. And I struggled to get home. Apparently, when I stood up off the side of the bed, I didn't look well at all.
No.
My wife said that I just didn't, and I don't remember very much from standing up from the bed and coming to in the ambulance, where they obviously, they told me afterwards, they squirted that stuff under your tongue. When we got close to Norwich, to the hospital, they warned me that you were going to be meeting the ambulance, I mean, I just can't explain the way I was.
And you mentioned they were a bit worried about you when they were
Yeah.
transporting you. You remember
They
what
were.
happened, or?
No, all I remember is that they were concerned that they didn't have time for my wife to get
Yeah.
into the ambulance. They needed to get me
Okay.
on the way in a hurry.
Yeah. Okay. We just have to do a little talk so everyone knows who you are and what we're doing. So this chap's 77. He's come in with an inferior infarct. Onset was at 8:30, so that's about 2.5 hours ago. And he has a past history of type 2 diabetes, a stroke 9 years ago from which he made a full recovery. And so when you got to the hospital, we obviously started filming you then, and do you remember much about it, or was
Not
it a
much
big
of
blur?
that.
No.
I don't remember
Okay.
much of the
No.
once the ambulance doors open.
Were you scared about the whole thing, or did you think, well, you tell me.
Oh, no, I wasn't scared. I thought maybe this could be it. It's a peculiar feeling. 10 years previously, I'd had quite a severe stroke,
Okay.
and I just thought, oh, this is a follow-on. And what I liked more than anything was the fact that you explained what you were doing, and the monitor was there, and I was able to look at the monitor.
Could you follow what we were
Yes.
doing? You kind of
Yeah, I was
understood
able-
that.
once- this is where I sort of started coming to again.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying to me, the stent is nearly in place, or words to that effect, and that shortly I would feel quite a bit better.
Oh, you were watching, keeping your beady eye on us. That's good. All right. No, that's great. Has that pain settled now?
It's a lot better.
A lot better. Okay. You're going to be in hospital for a few days now, and the stent stays in forever, so you're on special heart medicine forever, basically. But we'll tell you much more about that later on. Okay?
Thank you very much.
That's great. Thanks.
What I think is incredible, within 30 seconds of you saying that, I felt I could have got up and walked away. I really do.
That's amazing.
It hit me then that you had saved my life.
So how has your life changed since then? What sort of things are you doing differently, or?
I think in lots of ways I'm probably a bit more conscious of not doing the wrong things. But I do exercise the dog as and when I can. I've got a lovely garden. I've inherited a gorgeous garden, and I spend an awful lot of time in the garden.
Did you find it hard to get back to normal?
I found it difficult to ease off a bit, to slow down.
Okay.
The rehab, when I went for the rehab, I thought, what a wasted time. But I went and I continued. I didn't think I was going to see it right through. I thought I knew it all, you see. But I saw it through and I learnt a lot. They don't just talk a load of rubbish.
So what did you learn at rehab that was useful?
At the end of the day, I think it just made me far more aware of the pros and cons of having a heart attack. One of the things that horrified them was when I first went and they wanted to know about my weight. And, oh, I said, I'm quite proud. I said, I've just recently lost over a stone in weight. Oh, how did you do that? Well, I said, I used to have a cup of coffee 3 times a day with 3 chalky biscuits. I said, but I've done away with that now. I said, I don't have the coffee and I don't have the 3 chalky biscuits.
When you first got out of hospital, were you worried about more heart attacks or any pains and things?
Yeah, I think you do worry a little bit, but within, well, I think by the time I'd finished the rehab, I never even gave it a second thought.
Yeah. Okay, and then you've obviously had a lot of medication and things to take. Is there any advice for people about that?
Put me on a tablet, I don't know what it was called, a yellow tablet that was to help the stent.
So there's always about 4 or 5 tablets, and I think that one is a blood thinner called
Yeah, that was the worst one, because
So that
made your blood so thin
Yeah.
that I only had to sort of touch me like that, and
Yeah.
it used to go blue. Everything I touched, it just at least a little scratch, and it bled and bled and bled, and I got a little bit concerned about it. So when we moved, I had an appointment with the doctor for the initial doctor's appointment you have when you go to a new surgery. And I mentioned the fact that I was on this tablet and could I come off of it. And she turned around and she said, no, she said, if you've got a set date for it to come off, you cannot come off it.
So you have to behave yourself.
Yeah, and I didn't come off it, I
No,
stayed
that's
on
good.
it. I had to slow down with what I was doing, but I didn't really find any difficulty in not doing anything that I was used to doing, except I'm not as fast as I used to.
How's it affected the rest of your family, your wife and so on?
My wife worries about me.
Yeah.
She, oh, you shouldn't be doing that.
Okay,
And
and
I
do you...
say, well, my answer to that is, all the time I can, I will.
That's a brilliant answer.
I think that's the only advice I would give anybody. If, no matter what, if you can think you can do it, then you should do it.
Yeah. Great.
That's my advice to anybody.
How old are you now, George? I can't remember.
I'll be 79 in March.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay.
I had to think for a minute.
Well, I can't remember my age.
Never understood that life can be this good. I would launch 1,000 ships just to be about your lips, tell them all to sail away, just to see